Alright, time for the rear ZQ8 sway bar, or anti-sway bar. So this is the stock anti-sway bar. These are the stock brackets, stock clamps. The way these mount in a stock ZQ8 equipped truck is with these brackets. So these brackets have 3 holes to mount them, and they sit right up in this spring pocket. And they sit right up in here. The only difference between a ZQ8 and a non-ZQ8 truck is the holes aren't there. So all you gotta do is pick up those 3 holes, 1 on the bottom, 2 on the side. Same for the passenger side. It just sits right in that pocket. You gotta drill 3 holes. Hopefully I won't have to move my exhaust hanger here, but we'll see when we come to it. So that's what I'm going to do now, is drill those 3 holes. And if you pick one of these up at the junkyard, get all the bolts that go in those holes. It'll make it a lot easier. I mean, you can get these at the store, of course, but all you got to do is drill some holes and bolt this in. If you've got a stock S10 rear axle, you can use these brackets just as is, because these just clamp onto the axle. They don't even weld on or anything. So I'm going to have to modify these since I'm using the thicker tubed 8.8, but we get those holes drilled, and we'll see where we line up on the axle for our brackets. So here's my secret weapon for drilling the holes up in these brackets. So I've just got my impact and one of those 90-degree deals. Then I'm using some step drill bits that have the impact connection. So that just goes in there, and you can do this with any angle drill. It doesn't have to be one of these, but I'm not sure where my Terry drill is, but so this is what we're using today. This lets me get into any of the spots. You do got to drop your shock to do this, but gives you a little more room. Okay, I have the brackets drilled and bolted up in place on both sides. I've got the anti-sway bar jammed in there. There's a couple different ways you can attach this to your rear axle. You can get some exhaust clamps, which is basically what the S10, the stock S10 ones look like. They're just a U-bolt with like the other half, which looks exactly like an exhaust clamp. So you can get those. What I'm going to do, what I decided on, was these are the stock S10 brackets. I sanded them all down, increased the radius a little bit to fit the axle tube better, and I'm just going to weld these right onto there. So I think that'll work fine. Bar barely clears the housing here, so that should be good. If that does present a problem, I can always put a spacer under this bracket between the 2 brackets, and that way I'll space the bar out just a little bit. So I'm gonna grind a little paint off the tube and get that welded up, and I'll probably cheat and clean this bar up and paint it real quick too. That's it for the rear sway bar install. Like I said, real easy since these came in S10s. You just get the stock brackets and it just pretty much bolts right in. I did have to move my exhaust hanger, but all I had to do was cut this off and switch it around to the other side of the pipe. Everything clears now. It works pretty good. I've been testing it a little bit with all these suspension upgrades, and I've just got pretty skinny street tires on there, and it hooks up a lot better than I thought it would. It spins the tires for 1 or 2 seconds and then just hooks, so pretty happy with that. On to the next project.